Hey, everybody, welcome to Fresh Black.Coffee. Today, I'm David Van. I'm actually at the home studio again. Just came back from the Tulsa County Republican Party convention today. We had a great time. I'm actually going to add some interviews here as we go through the show today. I'll let you know just a little bit about some of the people who are running for leadership positions in the party, and we'll be making decisions on even bigger leadership roles in the party today. What am I talking about? Well, two of our interviewed people are going to be a candidate for Oklahoma's national Republican Party committee members. We're looking for an Oklahoma National Committee man and Oklahoma National Committee woman. Pam Pollard's been serving as our committee woman for little over a term now, and she's running for yet another. So you'll be able to hear from Pam. As you'll know from our conversation, Pam and I have worked together for over a decade. We have been a part of a lot of what's happened in the Republican Party as of late, and I really respect her insights and her wisdom on a number of these things. Now, Steve Curry has been our RNC National Committee man from Oklahoma. He's not seeking another term. So, coming up at the state convention, we will be selecting somebody to replace him. Right now, the only officially announced candidate I know of is Ferlin Kearns, also from the Oklahoma City area. So Ferlin and I, who've kind of been Facebook friends, and we will talk and joke and just kind of, have some good interactions. But I got to know Ferlin better today, and so you'll see part of that interview. I'm sorry ahead of time for the sounds. We just had to go wherever we could get a quiet or somewhat quiet place to conduct an interview. So there's that. Now, let's talk about the show at large. Eddie's out of pocket again today. This time he's actually calling on a few friends and going to be doing some other things that he just could not do at another time. So he just asked me, he says, look, Dave, you got the convention to go to. I got other things. He says, get some good interviews and do our weekly report and tell the people hi from me, and we'll be back in the studio. I do want to say I met with a number of people. We've got some great scheduled guests coming up. Oklahoma's superintendent of public instruction, Ryan Walters, came up to me. He says, Dave, I need to do another podcast with you guys. So we've got that coming up here real soon. Maybe not next Saturday, but very soon. I had a great report from him. Ryan and I we clicked. We've clicked ever since the day we first met. So that was good. We've got some candidates running for office, actually really trying to clean up public education more than anything. Elena Ashley is coming back in. If you remember, she was in about a year and a half ago. Since then, she's accomplished a lot, made a lot of people uncomfortable, and some of her work has led to some major criminal convictions for embezzlement of public funds, Tulsa Public Schools. So we've got that going on. Superintendent ended up having to resign because of the things that were uncovered through the diligent work of Elena Ashley. So that's coming up. What else going on? Let's do a little news roundup. Today, it's Saturday, the 24th of February, and Republicans in South Carolina are deciding on who their preference is for president. Sad thing is, Nikki Haley is trying to get a bunch of Democrats to come vote on who the primary or who the Republican nominee is. Yeah, that just seems so foreign to us Midwestern value people. It's kind of like letting the people in the girls' club decide who's going to be president of the boys' club. Go figure. It would be like letting the players for the Chicago Bears decide who the team captain of the Minnesota Vikings is. That makes no sense. Well, anyway, so that's going on today. CPAC is kind of reinvigorated and holding a big convention. They've really made a big media push and Nathan Dahm actually, I expected to see him today. He's actually at CPAC. I don't know to what degree he's involved there, but I know he's doing some things. Got some great insight on what's going on with the RNC. Ronna McDaniel, after talking to Donald Trump, decided, yeah, it's time for me to hang it up and let somebody else take over. And Donald Trump helped put together a team who he's recommending, but who's actually going to make that decision. Today, I did get to talk to another couple of people who will probably be part of that decision making, along with Nathan Dahm, who is, we had in the studio a month ago. So that's Oklahoma doing our part to help give some clarity to our Republican values. Let's see. State legislatures got some things going on. I talked with the lieutenant governor today, Matt Pinnell. Now, we kept that off camera. I do want to say, and I'm not quoting Matt on this, Governor Stitt would like to see a reduction in the income tax rates on our charts for state income tax. This isn't the IRS. This isn't federal. This isn't, grocery tax. That's a separate issue. But the House is pretty committed to this. Governor Stitt's committed to this. And yet Greg Treat, who's the pro temp of the Senate, does not seem to be indicating that he's going to even allow the Senate body to have a vote on this. Well, our Constitution allows for the lieutenant governor to supersede the power of the Senate pro temp and take the gavel and call up the issue for a vote. I've got a strong suspicion that Matt Pinnell is likely to do just that if it comes to that. The ball is in Greg Treat's corner on that. But we had a good discussion, a number of issues, Matt Pinnell and I. Matt's actually, it looked like he was going to perhaps step in that role other times, but certain procedural matters kind of kept that from happening. Matt knows what I'm talking about. We know exactly what it is. And Greg Treat's no dummy. He knows how to finagle power. All right. In fact, I got to say, Senator Dave Rader, who's my state senator, we talked after the convention. He chaired it today. And, he's kind of like, well, how did I do? And I had to tell him, Dave, a lot of the problems we run into when we ask one of you folks in the legislature to come chair our meeting is you guys tend to fall back on your legislative blueprint, where a committee chair is basically a dictator. I said, you don't get to come in here and play dictator at the county convention. We'll tar and feather you. But Dave did great. Dave was, he just had the right temperament. Nathan Dahm's done good at chairing convention meetings in the past, and not all of them. Fact is, we had Greg Treat one year chairing the state convention. He did horribly, absolutely horribly, because he played that game, that power game. So anyway, there's that. Let's go to our first interview now with Ferlin Kearns. Now, this may be somebody new to some of you. If you live in Oklahoma City area, you probably know Ferlin, or if you're on Facebook in certain circles, you've probably seen some of his different talks. But Ferlin does a good job of breaking down a lot of issues. I don't always agree with his conclusions, but I think he weighs a lot of insights when he's speaking on policy issues. So here's that with Ferlin. Now, if you're watching my live stream, yeah, you'll have to go to the uploaded version in order to see this in proper sequence. Ferlin, let's hear what you. Welcome everybody to Fresh Black.Coffee. I'm David Van. We're on location this fine Saturday morning. I've got a special guest here at the Tulsa County Republican Party County Convention. We have none other than the great Ferlin Kearns of Oklahoma County coming over here to introduce himself to us. Why? Tell us why.
I am running for the National Committee Man, state of Oklahoma, so I will be representing, if elected, the state of Oklahoma at the RNC.
Okay.
That's the purpose.
Now, the qualifications, number one, you have to be male.
Have to be male.
Okay, so it's
In
not
Oklahoma, now maybe some of those other states would know. It's RNC,
so it isn't how you feel about your gender, or how feminine or masculine you feel on a given day.
Yeah, it is the RNC, not the DNC.
Okay. So now, is he replacing, great guy Steve Curry? You know Steve.
I know Steve very well.
Yeah.
He's not running again.
Gotcha. All right.
So it's an open seat.
All right. All right. And according to our comparison of notes, we've not heard of anybody officially entering the race other than you.
No, as of right now, I haven't heard of anybody either.
Wow.
That can change today, as you know, at any time. All these conventions going on.
That's
Maybe
true.
somebody will announce today.
That's true. What's on your agenda today? Is it just Tulsa County Convention?
I'm going to try to get over to Wagner County, be here,
Okay.
go over to Wagner County, and I'm going to meet with a small group of people in between those. So.
All right. Now, the biggest decision, at least the most public one, has been the whole issue of who's going to be our national chairman. Ron McDaniel evidently is stepping down. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if what we hear is true, after the South Carolina primaries today, and supposedly after the South Carolina primaries, she's supposed to be stepping down, so we'll see.
Okay. What kind of criteria do you look for? Because it's going to be partly your decision. You're part of, 168 people?
They call it the 168, and we do elect that person. There's a gentleman, he's the state GOP chair from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Gary, don't hold me to that. His last name is Waitley.
Yeah.
And Trump has picked him to be the next GOP chair.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great guy. I met him. He's an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a new division at the RNC. It's a legal division, and all they do, they got about 70 lawsuits around the country going, and he's in charge of that.
Gotcha.
So it makes sense.
Now, we had Nathan Dahm in studio a few weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
He said one of his big things he wants to change is low-hanging fruit. There's less money spent on flower arrangements.
Yeah.
Are you with him on that?
Oh, absolutely. You go through their financials, and there's some things that certainly need to be cut.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I saw that $700,000 or something. Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
Okay. Let me ask you 3 quick questions and we'll wrap up. You support Trump for our nomination?
100%. I was for Trump when, you remember Ted Cruz won Oklahoma.
Yeah, I was a Ted Cruz guy.
Yeah, and in my little town, Edmond, Oklahoma, Marco Rubio actually run that, so I was kind of Lone Ranger out there for a long time. But we actually, me and a few of our friends brought Trump to the state fair in 2015.
Oh, you and those guys.
Nobody else was supporting if we were.
You and Ralph.
Yeah, I was Tom Daney and a few.
Yes,
absolutely.
All right, well, good. All right, that's it. Thank you so much. Best wishes on the campaign trail.
Thank you for introducing me to some folks out there.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Folks, we got a lot more coming up today. We're at the Tulsa County Republican Convention. Have a good day and check in with us regularly. All right. Thank you, Ferlin, for that interview. And for those of you wanting to follow this further, at the State Republican Convention in early May, we will be making that decision. And you count on, we'll probably carry that live here on Black.Coffee. So what else got dealt with this week? Of course, we're still seeing the fallout of a bunch of, lawfare issues. We've seen a lot of pushback, and we're seeing a lot of the erosion of support amongst the Black community and Black voters for Joe Biden. When you become exempt from prosecution on criminal conduct because you aren't considered to be coherent enough to participate in your own defense, and yet You want to argue you still should have control of our nuclear codes? God, that just doesn't make sense, folks. And you can't have it both ways. So, but that's what they're trying to do right now with Joe Biden, trying to exempt him from prosecution for crimes he committed. Many of them, I don't know, 20 years ago. And so, yeah, let go figure that. All right. So what else happened today? We did get to meet a lot of the candidates that we're going to be introducing to you in the weeks to come on air. We're at the Tulsa County Republican Convention. By the way, this wasn't the only convention in Oklahoma today. Wagner County was having their county Republican convention today. Several others are. So we have to get all of our county stuff wrapped up so we can send delegations to district conventions where we're actually going to send delegates to the National Republican Convention this summer. Are going to be some of them chosen right here in the Tulsa area, so others in Oklahoma City area, and others in different, representing different other parts of the state of Oklahoma. So, we are about a week and a half away from Super Tuesday. This is going to be a very interesting time because, the neocon Nikki Haley is saying, oh, no, I'm going to stay in this race until the last voters had a chance to vote. So go figure. Donald Trump is going to be mathematically locking the nomination before the end of March, probably by the 20th of March. So there's that. And let's go to Furling Turns and, to Pam Pollard. We've already heard from Furling. Pam, I have known, she was 13, 14 years ago. She was the state vice chair. And Pam and I have, sometimes we butt heads on certain things, but Pam has a sharp mind for organization. And I said, if there's anybody who knows the rules better than me, it's Pam. I was telling my county chairwoman Ronna Wilmot Smith that today. I said, if anybody knows the rules better than me, it's Pam. And Pam was gloating, and I said, Pam, that was a hypothetical if. So anyway, but no, we appreciate each other. So here, let's talk to Pam. Pam and I are going to go over a few things. What do you got to say, Pam Pollard? Hey, this is David Van. We're back with Fresh Black.Coffee, and I'm with the one and only Pam Pollard. Pam, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Pam has been serving, gosh, you have served as state vice chair of the party, then chair of the party, and now as national committee woman.
That's correct.
It's woman, folks. They still have the gender quotas.
That's right, and I'm glad we do. It's even more important in this day and time because we don't identify a male and a female.
Jameson fought, and I had this debate in 11, and you were like, oh, I believe it's like a marriage. And
I did, you're right. I still support that. I do.
Well, there you go, folks.
It's okay. It's okay.
We still believe in some quotas, at least for Pam.
Oh, it's not a quota. It's not a quota.
Well, it's one man, one woman.
Correct. And the quota, you mean the number being the quota?
Yes, that you have to make sure there's always a woman and always a man.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. I just call it equal representation.
Okay, so let me ask you.
Yeah.
We've gone through 13 years of this change. Some have said it's going to basically make it so women have no say in the party. That hasn't been the case.
I know that's what they said to start with. That's what they said. I mean, I had my own point of view. My point of view was biblically based at the time. I'll continue to say that.
Yeah.
I think that a male and a female each bring something different to the table. That's why the Lord made them, and that was my thing.
Yeah.
Now, again, that's what they said. I had nothing. I didn't care when they
Okay.
said, well, all the men will take over, female will take over. That wasn't my issue in that, and it hasn't borne out.
Okay. You weren't expecting that question today, were you?
As a matter of fact, I did talk to somebody about that.
Okay.
In the last week.
Well, now, we had a vote here just a little over a year ago for a new term for National Committee Chair.
You voted for whom?
I voted for Harmeet.
Harmeet.
I voted for
And
Harmeet.
I appreciate that.
Yes, I absolutely.
I think generally the grassroots
Yeah.
did support her. But I think Steve Curry supported Ronna. Yeah. So I don't know that that's a question that people are going to base their vote on at state convention.
Well, maybe so, maybe not, but I'll tell you one thing, is that I stood by my principles.
Yeah.
I was one of 41.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's only kind of 30 of those same people left.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not afraid to stand alone.
Right. Charlie Kirk spoke very highly.
Well, I think the world of
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk and
Yeah.
what they're doing, and all we're trying to do is give the people a voice in their party, not the consulting class, not the
But
It's
don't
just
we need more
ridiculous.
flower arrangements?
So, all right, let me give you a little bit of insight
Yes,
on
fill
that.
me in. Fill me in.
So, no way, listen, we are the 30 of us that are there are the ones who threw a fit on these flower arrangements that they gave us at our meetings. And we said, there's one over there and one over there. Why don't you pick that up and bring it over here by the stage? We feel like you have to have these flowers. But the truth behind that is, and yes, 70,000, I don't know what all they use that for. That's for every event. But when they compare that to the Democrats, this is the issue, though. This is the issue. They hire consultants to do all of that. That's why it's not disclosed.
Oh, there you go.
Now,
See, now you're an accounting person.
I am.
You know how to hide things.
that's
in the
exactly right.
books. Yeah.
But I also believe in
Yeah.
full disclosure.
Yeah.
That's a story. Now, ask me about the voter registration and about how they on the voter maintenance list.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to the FEC and look at the Democrats list. Their voter registration is written out to VAN. Now, when I first saw that, I thought, what is this? Because I came in, I was vice chair, 11 to 13. I said, what is this? They're renting vans? What are they doing? So I started investigating. What are they doing renting these vans every month? Where are they going? Because I wanted to find out so we could follow them. No, that Obama still owns the database of the Democrat Party.
Oh my goodness.
A VAN is the name of the database. All
Okay.
50 states, all parties, all county parties
Gotcha.
has to pay Obama for the data. Now, the RNC, after the 2012 elections, RNC put our data into a data trust.
Yeah.
Now, the trust members are part of the RNC, but it's a separate legal entity for 2 or 3 reasons. Number one, if we ever have any lawsuits, anything like that, they
Okay.
can't get our data.
Okay.
So we don't raise the money, we don't spend the money on that, data trust does. But there are certain things that we might do, like on a voter registration
Yeah.
drives. Money we spend on that, it has to be coded as voter registration
Yeah.
and data things. So
Yeah.
that's what that is about.
Okay, I want to talk something else about this again, RNC stuff, how it appears to us grassroots
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And I always appreciate one of your predecessors, Carolyn McClarty, used to come back to the state committee meetings, give these fantastic reports. And if you can even stay close to that standard, you'd be doing great.
I would love to, but remember the last 2 state committee meetings, we were not given the opportunity to give our reports.
When I got Carolyn, I said,
Yeah.
let's do this as a blog. And we tried to run it as
Yeah.
a blog because it isn't just state committees.
Right, right.
All of us in the trenches
Right.
need to know this.
Right, absolutely.
So I want to encourage you on that. Start blogging. I
Yes.
think it'd be good.
Well, I'll have to hire someone because I am so busy.
You know what? Or you could just do this, Facebook Live.
There you go. I try to do a lot more Facebook Lives, and I
Yeah.
haven't done any just here recently for a lot of different reasons.
Okay.
I will say this, that I was very honored when my peers elected me as one of the RNC vice chairs.
Oh, good for you.
Now, I don't know this, I need to talk to Carolyn, but I'm told we've never had an Oklahoman, male or female, as
Yeah.
an RNC vice chair.
Yeah, I think Carolyn was always
She was on the platform.
platform chair.
And she was on
co-chair.
platform, and she was also on committee on arrangements, which
Yeah.
is about the convention.
Oh, it wasn't about flower arrangements.
So no. So I am co-chair of the Grassroots Advisory Committee.
Okay, so what I want to say, speaking of Facebook, I was pretty critical when we were going through the whole battle over the 2020 election and Congress's meeting, and we have this special election in Georgia, kind of a special runoff, and the RNC's down at a swanky hotel on the Atlantic coast. But somebody wasn't there until she absolutely had to be. She was somebody named Pam Pollard leading an Oklahoma contingent door knocking in Georgia.
I did.
And I want to commend
I
you
do.
for that
Thank
publicly.
you. Well, I appreciate that.
Because we still were fighting battles.
Yes, we were.
It's not time for retreat when
That's
you're
right.
supposed to be in a battle.
That's right. We took people, we did that, and as a matter of fact, on January 6th, that was January 5th, 4th and 5th that we did that. Again, I'll say, I can't go on Sundays, I have to be with my church, so I went on early Monday, so we did Monday and Tuesday morning, and then on January 6th, you guys can see I have a new scar on my face, because in the hotel, I slipped on the floor and did a face dive into the thing, so I spent January 6th in the hospital in the emergency room that they potentially was preparing for President Trump, because President Trump was at an RNC meeting. President Trump had planned to, after he did the rally, that's what he called it, or I call it, the rally there on January 6th in D.C., he was going to come down and join us.
Yeah.
And of course, he wasn't able to after that. So a lot of people would say, why is the RNC not here in D.C.? President Trump said, you guys have business.
Yeah, you told me that time.
Right.
Said, hey, Trump told us,
Trump
ahead
told us
and
to
meet this
go,
weekend.
and he was going to come later. So.
Yeah.
But we can't give up on these special elections, no matter where they are. And I challenge people. I really challenge people. I keep telling folks, we have wasted resources here in Oklahoma. Yes, we have some elections that we really, really need to work on. And I'm talking about in November.
Yeah.
But I'm also talking about that we need to put teams together. We need to go to Missouri. We need to go to Colorado. We've got strong talent here. We need to go help these other states that it could be a difference of winning and losing in some of these other states. We tried our best in Georgia.
Well, and a lot of these, Pam, now I'm going to say this, Pam isn't saying it. Pam, you pay your own dime to go to all these RNC meetings.
Everyone.
Okay.
Traveling around the state.
Now, the state chair, the state party picks that up.
That's correct.
But for you and for Steve Curry these last several years, that is part of the commitment it takes, that you have to have a family that's supportive and family finance. I met your husband, great family, very supportive. So that is, that's been part of the commitment people don't see that you're making.
Well,
it costs you to do this
It
job.
does, and we're like everybody else. We're not a rich, wealthy family whatsoever. But I choose to take some of my money and invest it. And invest it because it's critical. It's critical. It's critical to grow our grassroots. And as you guys know, I was big on training. That's what I spent my time as vice chair on. That's why I'm on that's why they put me on the grassroots advisory committee, even after I voted against Ronna, because she knows that's my forte. I don't want to say expertise is what I love. Training people. And we have, I call them grow years and go years. Last year was supposed to be a grow year. That's why we trained in 22 different states. These people, get them ready to go. Now, this is a go year. You're not going to see a whole lot of training, a little bit, but not a whole lot of training.
It's being on the ground
you
training.
You need to be ready to go. So that's the type of things that I bring to the RNC that's critical, that nobody talks about. It's and that's why I choose to invest some of my money in that, because I love that.
Okay.
Well, you know why? I've seen what happens when you don't have it. Here in Oklahoma. Been around long enough to see when we have training, when we don't have training, when we have communication, we don't have communication. I want to bring communication and training, and that's what the Grassroots Advisory Committee does.
I'll give you the last word. Anything you want to announce, or any news or events, dates?
I'm just going to try to make it to as many counties as I can. I will say, since you're giving me this opportunity, that as I told the county here, I'm the pianist at my church, and right now we don't have a backup pianist. So when I'm not there, they don't have any music. And we're having a very large gathering with several states coming in on the weekend of April 14th and 15th. And there's 3 district conventions going on. So I will not be able to be there, guys. But it's not because I don't want to be. It's I must uphold my obligations to my church and to the Lord first. So
where are your priorities up, Lord?
I have to.
That's right.
I cannot do it.
No, you
I
do
just
that.
can't do it in my
You
heart.
do that.
So
You do that.
apologies up front that I won't be at these conventions that are that weekend of the 14th,
Okay.
15th.
We'll see you at the state convention.
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
where I'm up for election again,
Right.
re-election at the state convention.
Gotcha.
Proud to announce, as I said, I have the endorsement of Turning Point, which does a lot of this training.
Right.
Charlie Kirk, Tyler Bauer, and people that say, Pam, we've got to rebuild this RNC, and you're one of the people we need to be here to help us rebuild it.
There you go.
So.
Well, that's it from the Tulsa County Republican Convention. You've been speaking visiting with Pam Pollard, our National Committee Woman for Oklahoma. And we'll have more to say later on. Thanks for being part of Black.Coffee.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Pam, for that. And appreciate you getting out, being on the road, being a leader, and being an example in the ways that you have. So let's see what else we got. Eddie and I are going to be back in studio having the kitchen table discussion next Saturday. We've got the last minute push to get out. I hope you guys have gotten registered to vote. If you can't vote in person, I hope you've already secured your ballots for absentee voting and being a part of this decision. As somebody once said, you don't get to gripe if you didn't vote, and there's some truth to that. All right. Well, thank you so much, and appreciate everybody being part of today. We're going to be back at you next week. Have a good day.